One quarter, my girlfriend said, "I only flirt with guys for free drinks. Stop being insecure." I said, "You're right." Then I took my ring off and started flirting with her sister at the family barbecue. She went ballistic and tried to throw a drink at me while her family watched in horror. Original post. I, 29 male, have been with my girlfriend for almost 4 years. We got engaged 8 months ago, and I genuinely believed I was going to spend my life with this woman. Then the cracks started showing in ways I couldn't ignore anymore. It started about a year into our relationship. We'd go out to bars with friends, and she'd wander off to get drinks. Except she never came back with her wallet lighter. Always some guy buying her drinks. I noticed, but didn't say anything at first because I trusted her. Then I started paying closer attention. The hair twirling, the arm touches, the laughing at jokes that weren't funny. Full-on performance art to score free alcohol. First time I brought it up, she laughed. "Babe, it's just drinks. It means nothing." Second time, she got annoyed. "You're being insecure. I always come home with you." Third time, about 6 months ago, we had a real fight. I told her it made me uncomfortable watching her basically lead guys on for a $12 cocktail. Her response? "I only flirt with guys for free drinks. Stop being insecure. Every girl does this." It's not cheating. I stared at her. It's disrespectful. To me. To our relationship. She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. "God, you sound like my dad. Lighten up. If you were more confident, this wouldn't bother you." Classic deflection. Make it a my problem. My insecurity. Not her behavior. I dropped it because I'm an idiot who loved her. But it festered. Every time we went out, I watched her work the room while I nursed my beer and pretended not to notice. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago. Her family's annual summer barbecue. Big deal event. Her parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole crew. I've been to 4 of these now. Always played the good boyfriend, helped her dad at the grill, complimented her mom's potato salad. We arrived around 2 p.m. Her younger sister, 24F, was there, recently single after a bad breakup. Nice girl, always been friendly to me. We chat at family events, nothing weird. Within 30 minutes of arriving, my girlfriend disappeared. Found her by the cooler, giggling with her cousin's friend, some guy I'd never met. He was handing her a beer, and she was doing the thing. The hair flip, the shoulder touch, at a family barbecue, in front of relatives. While wearing my ring, I walked over. "Hey babe, your mom wanted help with the dessert table." She barely glanced at me. "Tell her I'll be there in a sec." The guy looked uncomfortable at least. I walked away. 20 minutes later, same thing with a different guy. One of her uncle's younger co-workers or something. Same routine. Something in me just clicked off. Like a switch. 4 years of this, and she couldn't even stop at her own family's event. I found her sister sitting alone at one of the picnic tables, scrolling her phone, looking kind of down. I grabbed 2 lemonades and sat across from her. "You okay?" She shrugged. "Yeah, just, first family thing since the breakup. Everyone keeps asking about him. That sucks. People mean well, but they don't know when to shut up." She laughed. "Exactly. We just talked. Normal stuff. Her new apartment, her job at the marketing firm, a show we both watched. She mentioned she'd been thinking about adopting a dog, but wasn't sure if her schedule allowed it. I told her about my buddy who volunteers at a rescue and could help her find a low-maintenance breed. At some point, I noticed my girlfriend watching us from across the yard. Her face was weird. Not angry yet, but calculating. I looked down at my hand, at the ring she'd picked out. The ring I'd saved for. The ring that apparently meant nothing when she was batting her eyelashes at strangers for free booze. I slipped it off, put it in my pocket. Her sister didn't notice. She was mid-story about a nightmare client at work. But my girlfriend did. I saw her face change from across the lawn. I leaned in slightly, gave her sister my full attention. Laughed at her jokes. Nodded along to her stories. Nothing inappropriate, just engaged. Present. The way I used to be with my girlfriend before I realized I was competing with every guy holding a drink. 2 minutes later, my girlfriend stormed over. "What's going on here?" Her sister looked confused. "We're just talking." It didn't look like just talking. She turned to me. "Where's your ring?" "Pocket." "What?" I stood up slowly. "Because I'm done. We're done." Her face went red. "Are you kidding me? At my family's barbecue? In front of everyone? You've been flirting with 2 different guys in the last hour. At your family's barbecue. In front of everyone. While wearing MY ring. Her sister's eyes went wide. Wait, what? My girlfriend ignored her. That's different. That doesn't mean anything. Neither does this conversation with your sister. Unless you're admitting your flirting does mean something. She sputtered. Actually sputtered. You're being ridiculous. I can't believe you're doing this here. And I can't believe you can't go 2 hours without working some guy for a free beer. At your grandmother's house. That's when she grabbed her drink, a red Solo cup full of sangria, and tried to throw it at me. I stepped back. The sangria splashed mostly on the grass, but some got on her sister's white sundress. Her sister jumped up, shocked. The entire backyard went silent. Her dad was frozen at the grill, tongs in hand. Her mom had her hands over her mouth. Her grandmother looked like she'd witnessed a crime. My girlfriend realized what she'd done. That was an accident. I made you throw a drink at me? In front of your whole family. Her mom rushed over. What on earth is going on? I grabbed the ring from my pocket and handed it to my girlfriend. This was a mistake. I should have seen it sooner. I'm gonna head out. You can't just leave. We came in my car. I'll Uber. Started walking toward the front yard. Behind me, I heard her sister saying, "You got sangria all over my dress," and her mom asking, what did he mean about flirting with other men? The chaos I left behind was something else. I could hear her trying to explain, her mom's voice getting louder, her dad asking if someone could tell him what the hell was happening. My Uber arrived in 7 minutes. Longest 7 minutes of my life, standing on the sidewalk, listening to raised voices from the backyard. Driver asked if I was okay. Told him I just ended a 4-year relationship. He didn't say anything else, just let me sit in silence. Good guy. Got home to an empty apartment that was suddenly going to be only mine. Sat on the couch and stared at the wall for probably 2 hours. Then the text started. Update 1, 3 days later. The aftermath has been a lot. So when I got home after the barbecue, I had about an hour of peace before my phone exploded. Not from her at first. She was clearly still dealing with the fallout at her parents' house. First text was from her sister. I don't know what happened, but I'm sorry your stuff got caught in the middle of whatever that was. For what it's worth, I believe you about the flirting thing. I've seen her do it. That actually meant something. Responded with a simple thanks. Then the call started. My girlfriend, her number showing up every few minutes. I didn't answer. Let them go to voicemail. First voicemail. Crying, apologizing. I don't know why I threw that drink. I just panicked. Please call me back. Second voicemail. Still crying, but now with an edge. You humiliated me in front of my entire family. My grandmother won't look at me. This is your fault. Third voicemail. Full anger mode. You planned this. You were waiting for an excuse to flirt with my sister. This whole thing was a setup. Fourth voicemail. Back to crying. Please. For years. We can work through this. I'll stop the flirting thing, I promise. I didn't respond to any of them. Next morning, she showed up at the apartment. She still had her key. I'd actually forgotten about that. Woke up to her standing in my bedroom doorway at 7 a.m. We need to talk. You need to leave your key on the counter and go. I'm not leaving until you hear me out. She sat on the edge of the bed and launched into her speech. For years, everything we'd built, how I overreacted, how if I just communicated better instead of making a scene, we could have fixed things. I've been communicating for 2 years. You call me insecure every time. Because it is insecurity. Normal guys don't care about harmless flirting. Normal girlfriends don't do it in the first place. She switched tactics. Started crying. I love you. Only you. The drinks thing is it's just fun. It doesn't mean anything. It meant enough for you to do it at your family's barbecue, where your grandmother could watch. That was different. Those were just random guys. I was being friendly. You were hair, twirling and touching arms. That's not friendly. That's what you do to me when you want something. She didn't have a response for that. Key on the counter. Go. She left the key, but she didn't go quietly. 2 hours later, her mom called me. Not angry, actually. More confused. I don't understand what happened. She says you were flirting with her sister to make her jealous. Ma'am, I was having a conversation with her sister because your daughter was too busy flirting with 2 different men for free drinks. At your barbecue. I've been dealing with this for years. Long silence. She does that? At bars and things. Every time we go out. She says it's harmless. I disagree. That disagreement ended our relationship. Another silence. Then, I had no idea. I'm sorry. Not your fault. I should have walked away sooner. She didn't try to convince me to stay. That told me a lot about what she'd seen or heard since the barbecue. The next few days were tense. My now ex texted constantly, alternating between apologies, accusations, and attempts at negotiation. I'll hit the highlights. I'll go to couples therapy. Whatever you want. You're throwing away 4 years over nothing. My sister said you're definitely flirting with her. She's not going to cover for you. That last one was interesting because her sister texted me separately. She's trying to get me to say you were being inappropriate. I told her we were literally just talking about dogs. She didn't like that answer. Then came the mutual friends. Our social circle was mixed. People we'd both known before dating plus couples we'd met together. Word spread fast. My buddy, who'd been friends with both of us, called me. Bro, she's telling everyone you try to hook up with her sister at the barbecue to humiliate her. I had a conversation about rescue dogs. Yeah, that's what I figured. Just wanted you to know what she's saying. The narrative she was spinning was wild. In her version, I'd been emotionally distant for months, probably cheating, and then I made a move on her sister publicly to justify breaking up with her. The sangria incident? According to her, she was defending herself from my aggressive behavior. I started saving every text, every voicemail. Not because I thought I need them legally, but because I knew she'd rewrite history and I wanted receipts. Day 3, she escalated. Showed up at the apartment again, but this time, I'd already changed the locks. She pounded on the door for 20 minutes. Let me in. I have stuff here. Text me what you need. I'll box it up and leave it outside. This is MY home too. I've been living here. Your name's not on the lease. Never was. I can call the cops if you don't leave. More pounding. Then crying. Then her mom showed up because apparently she'd called her for backup. Her mom was calmer. Can we please do this civilly? She has belongings here. Fair point. I opened the door, let them in to get her stuff. Watched like a hawk to make sure they only took what was hers. While they packed, her mom kept shooting me looks. Not hostile, more sad. Like she was finally seeing her daughter clearly. My ex, meanwhile, kept making comments. This dresser was a gift from my parents. We bought this lamp together. Half the kitchen stuff is mine. The dresser was a gift to her. The lamp, fine, she could have it. The kitchen stuff, we haggled over for 15 minutes until her mom told her to just take what she needed and let it go. When they left, her mom paused at the door. I'm sorry this happened. I don't think she realizes what she's lost. My ex heard that and lost it. Are you serious? You're taking his side. I'm not taking sides. I'm stating an observation. Let's go. Door closed. Apartment quiet. I cracked a beer at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Sometimes you need it. Update 2, 1 week later. You think it's over, and then it gets worse. After the moving out incident, there were 3 days of relative peace. A few bitter texts from my ex, but nothing major. I started adjusting to single life, doing all those little things you forget about when you share space with someone. Eating cereal for dinner. Watching whatever I wanted. Sleeping diagonally across the bed. Then her sister reached out. Hey, can we talk? Not about you and her. About something else. We met for coffee. Turns out my ex had gone full nuclear on her own sister. She's telling everyone I was in on it. That I conspired with you to break them up because I was jealous of her relationship. That's insane. Welcome to my reality. She's been like this our whole lives. Everything's a competition. Everything's about her. When she was losing at the barbecue, she had to create a villain. You're villain number 1. I'm villain number 2. She showed me texts their mom had forwarded. My ex demanding family members pick a side. Threatening to skip Christmas if anyone stayed in contact with her sister. Accusing their dad of never supporting her because he told her to calm down. My grandmother called me a Jezebel. She's 84, and she used the word Jezebel. I'm sorry you're caught up in this. Honestly, I've been waiting for her to finally show everyone who she really is. Just wish it hadn't involved me. We talked for an hour. Nothing romantic, just processing. 2 people caught in the same blast radius. Meanwhile, my ex's campaign intensified. Mutual friends started picking sides. mostly based on who they'd known longer. The couples we'd met together awkwardly stopped inviting me to things, which was fine. Less fine was when one of them, while longtime friends, told me he believed her version because she seemed really hurt. So her being hurt makes her honest? I just think there's two sides to every story, man. The other side is that she's been flirting with random men for free drinks for years, and I finally had enough. Yeah, but she says that's not really what happened. Lost that friend. Realized I didn't want him anyway. The dirty tricks started on day 10. First, she tried to get me kicked out of our gym. Same gym we'd both used, same membership I'd had for 3 years before I even met her. She told the front desk I was stalking her, and she didn't feel safe. Manager called me in, showed me her complaint. I showed him the texts she'd been sending me, including one from that morning saying, "I know you're there on Tuesdays. I'm coming to talk to you." Sir, this is her trying to see me. I haven't contacted her once in 10 days. He reviewed both sides and told her she could switch to a different location if she was uncomfortable. She threw a fit in the lobby and got herself banned for 3 months. Problem solved itself. Second trick was more creative. She'd been storing some of her winter clothes in a storage unit, one that was technically under my account because I'd set it up when we first moved in together. Apparently, she decided she wanted access restored immediately and told the storage facility I was withholding her property. They called me to sort it out. I drove over, met with the manager, agreed to have her items moved to a separate unit under her name. Watch while they transferred everything. Clean break. Except she showed up while this was happening. With a guy, not someone I recognized. They were holding hands. She saw me, and her face went through about 6 emotions in 3 seconds. "What are you doing here?" "Transferring your stuff to your own unit." "Like you asked." The guy looked confused. "This is the ex." "Yeah." She tried to move him along quickly, but he stopped. "Bro, she said you were abusive." "That doesn't seem." "Let's go." The guy looked at me, looked at her, and something clicked behind his eyes. He wasn't stupid. They left without another word. But I heard them arguing in the parking lot. The final straw came 2 days ago. I got a call from her dad. First time he'd reached out since everything happened. "Son, I want to apologize for how this is all unfolded. I raised her better than this. Or I thought I did. Sir, it's not your fault. Maybe not directly. But I made excuses for her behavior for years. Her mother and I both did. We thought she'd grow out of it." He told me what had been happening inside their family. My ex had been making demands, insisting her parents cut off her sister, threatening to never bring grandchildren around if they didn't support her. Classic manipulation tactics that apparently weren't new, just finally exposed. My wife showed me some of the things you told her. About the flirting at bars, the free drinks. I had no idea. I tried to handle it privately. Didn't work. She's not handling this well. She thought you'd come crawling back. When you didn't, she didn't know what to do. "I'm not coming back." "I know. I wouldn't either." He paused. "If you ever need a reference for anything, job, apartment, whatever, you have my number. You're a good man." I'm sorry my daughter couldn't see that. That call hit different. Her own father essentially telling me I made the right choice. Yesterday, I got one final message from my ex. She'd clearly been drinking. "I hope you're happy. Braden dumped me after meeting you. My sister won't talk to me. My parents are disappointed. My grandmother wrote me out of her will for behavior unbecoming of a lady. Everything is ruined, and it's all your fault. All because you couldn't handle me getting free drinks." That's it. That's literally what ended us. Free drinks. You destroyed my life over free drinks. I read it twice. Then I typed back the only response that felt right. "No, you destroyed your life over free drinks." I just stopped participating. Blocked her number after that. Should have done it sooner. Final update, 3 weeks later. It's been almost a month since the barbecue. Figured I owe everyone a final update. My ex has not handled the consequences well. I've heard bits and pieces through the grapevine since I blocked her directly. First, the family situation imploded worse than expected. Her grandmother actually did adjust her will. Not dramatically, but enough to make a point. The woman was apparently old school about propriety, and watching her granddaughter throw sangria at someone and then lie about it crossed the line. My ex found out and caused a scene at the grandmother's house that resulted in her being asked to leave and not come back until she learned to behave like an adult. Her parents are trying to maintain peace, but they've drawn boundaries. Her mom told her sister, who told me, yes, we still talk occasionally, that they love their daughter, but they're not going to pretend she was in the right anymore. My ex called this betrayal and said they were choosing a stranger over their own flesh and blood. The stranger being me, I guess, or her sister, or anyone who didn't validate her completely. The new guy, the one from the storage unit, did in fact dump her. Apparently, after meeting me and seeing her reaction, he started questioning things. Asked around, found out the abusive ex narrative didn't match what anyone else remembered. He noped out within 48 hours. She tried to blame me for poisoning him against her. Her friend group has fractured. A few ride-or-dies are sticking by her, but the ones who knew both of us have quietly distanced themselves. One of them reached out to apologize for initially believing her version. Said she'd watched my ex's behavior at other events and finally connected the dots. I've seen her do the flirting thing. I always thought it was harmless. Didn't realize how much it was hurting you. Sorry, man. Appreciated that. As for me, I'm doing okay. Not great, not terrible. The apartment feels different now, but different isn't bad. How about more space? Less drama. No more watching someone I loved disrespect me in public, and then tell me I was crazy for noticing. I downloaded some dating apps, but haven't really used them. Not ready yet. 4 years is a long time to detangle from someone, even when the ending was this messy. The ring is still in my dresser drawer. Haven't decided what to do with it yet. Return policy expired long ago. Could probably sell it, but every time I think about it, I just close the drawer. Maybe next month. Her sister and I grab coffee sometimes. Strictly platonic. She's dealing with her own fallout from the family drama, and it helps to talk to someone who was there. She started therapy, which is good. Said it's helping her process a lifetime of being in her older sister's shadow. You know she's telling people we're dating now, right? I didn't know that. Of course she is. She called me a backstabber. Said I was waiting in the wings for years. We've had maybe 10 conversations total in 4 years. Logic doesn't apply to her reality. True. The weird part is, I don't hate her. My ex, I mean. I'm angry, sure. Hurt, definitely. But mostly I'm just tired. Tired of the games, the manipulation, the constant reframing of reality to make her the victim. She sent one more message before I blocked her, forwarded from a friend who she'd asked to pass it along. I finally get it. You are never going to accept me for who I am. I deserve someone who loves me unconditionally, including my flaws. I hope someday you realize what you lost. What I lost was a woman who thought disrespecting her partner in public was a flaw that deserved unconditional acceptance. What I gained was my self-respect back. No big dramatic revenge. No destroyed career or public humiliation campaign. Just natural consequences flowing from her own behavior, witnessed by her own family in her own backyard. She asked me to stop being insecure. I did. Turned out my insecurity was the only thing keeping the relationship together. The moment I stopped tolerating her behavior, the whole thing collapsed. Her grandmother said it best, apparently. Her sister told me this one. The old woman called her after the will revision and said, "You spent 4 years with a man who loved you enough to overlook your foolishness. Instead of being grateful, you threw sangria at him. At MY barbecue, in front of your grandfather's grave. You should be ashamed. Her grandfather's ashes are scattered in that backyard. I didn't know that. The barbecue is partly a memorial event. Makes the whole thing even worse in retrospect. Last thing, I got a card in the mail yesterday. From her dad. Just said, sorry we'll miss you at future gatherings. You always made good conversation at the grill. Take care of yourself. There was a $50 gift card to a steakhouse inside. That made me laugh, actually. First real laugh in weeks. I'm gonna be fine. It doesn't feel like it some days, but I know I will be. Because I finally did what I should have done 2 years ago. I stopped accepting less than I deserved. And sometimes, that's the only revenge that matters.